Today, we're focused on reading symbols and colors on sectional aeronautical charts for the FAA Part 107 exam. These charts, at a 1 to 500,000 scale, are a roadmap of the sky, and the FAA loves to test your ability to interpret them quickly and accurately. Let's start with airspace colors, specifically magenta and blue. A solid blue line depicts Class B airspace, which surrounds the nation's busiest airports. The solid magenta line shows Class C airspace, which is around airports that are busy, but less so than Class B. A dashed blue line indicates Class D airspace, which always starts at the surface. The exam will test this by asking for the airspace type directly over an airport inside a dashed blue line. The number inside a blue box indicates the ceiling of that Class D airspace in hundreds of feet MSL, so in this case, 3,000 feet MSL. Now for magenta's other forms. A dashed magenta line outlines Class E airspace that begins at the surface. This is a common exam trap. They will show you a location inside a dashed magenta line and ask if you need authorization to fly. Since it's controlled airspace from the ground up, you do. This is different from the fuzzy shaded magenta vignette. This shading indicates that Class E airspace begins at 700 feet AGL. An exam question might ask what airspace you are in at 500 feet AGL inside this shaded ring. Since you are below the 700-foot floor of Class E, you are in uncontrolled Class G airspace and do not need authorization. The airport symbols themselves are also color-coded. A blue airport icon means the airport has an operating control tower. A magenta airport icon means there is no tower. The FAA will test this simple but critical distinction. Beside the airport symbol, you'll see important data. A number by itself is the airport's elevation in feet MSL. Another number, often preceded by an L, indicates the length of the longest runway in hundreds of feet. So, an L followed by 90 means the longest runway is 9,000 feet long. To help remember the main color distinctions, use this mnemonic. Blue is for busy. Solid blue lines for the busiest Class B airspace, and blue airport icons for busy, towered airports. This helps separate it from magenta, which represents the less congested Class C airspace or non-towered airports. Pay close attention to these details, as the difference between a solid and dashed line or a blue and magenta color can completely change the rules for your drone operation and will certainly be the difference between a right and wrong answer on your Part 107 exam. For free practice questions, AI-powered explanations, and more exam prep tools, visit openexamprep.com. That's openexamprep, all one word, .com.